What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a good day. The Black Ops 7 beta is finally coming to a close, and we are finally just a day away from Battlefield 6 coming out. It should be coming out tomorrow, and hopefully, I hope that the servers and everything for Battlefield 6 are actually going to hold up, because I mentioned in my video yesterday, I gotta get this one thought off my mind before I make my final thoughts on the Black Ops 7 beta. The Battlefield series is pretty notorious for having some rough launches, no matter which one it was, all the way back to Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, I also remember, and even probably further before that, is that the games had issues when they launched their games, that the servers just have complete issues trying to keep up with as many people getting in, and there's always just something happening at the launch of these games. I do think that this time, I think Battlefield 6 is actually going to have a pretty decent launch, because even with the amount of people that were trying to play the game during the beta, which is over 500,000 people, the servers were actually pretty good. And yes, there was a server queue, and usually the server queue was like 80,000 people. There was probably more people sitting in the queue for Battlefield 6 than there were people waiting to play Black Ops 7 of all things, and that was sitting on the COD HQ. And of course, that's just one platform, and we're looking at Steam numbers. Steam numbers don't count. I can already see them coming. I mean, you can't deny the fact that the Steam numbers for Battlefield 6 were over 500,000, and the Steam numbers for Black Ops 7 were barely over 70K. So it just kind of goes to show which game is obviously feeling the pressure here, and it's obviously Black Ops 7. They just can't seem to figure it out this year, and they're really in a trouble. They're in a rocky road this year. I think I know why Call of Duty is so far down in the dumps this year, and it's just because that every single year we have to deal with the same bullcrap every single year. It's the same shit, different day. You gotta quote the OG MW2 for that one from the great General Shepard. They might have added something like the open playlist and kind of messed with the skill-based matchmaking in Black Ops 7, and that seemed to kind of just put a band-aid over the entire game, because when I say that there's issues with Black Ops 7, there is a plethora of issues with the game. I don't even know where to start with all the issues that I have with Black Ops 7. The list just kind of extends past what I could probably even fit into one video. And yes, there are good things. I'm not always a negative person about, say, the Call of Duty series, even though every single video that I've made so far has been pretty negative surrounding the game. I just can't stand seeing the Call of Duty series turn into this garbage, this storefront. They turn the game into a pseudo Fortnite at this point, where they're just trying to sell you microtransactions. They're just trying to make a quick buck, and it just feels like the entire game is falling apart because of it.
Transaction cancelled. You can't outsmart me.
Why not start with the fact that the engine that we're using for Black Ops 7 is nearly 5 to 6 years old? We have the same debate with the fact that the consoles are within that same range, and that's why the game, Black Ops 7, is still launching on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the next-gen series of consoles, because they just have to launch the game on everything possible to bring people in. I understand that not everybody has a new console, and it's pretty hard for people to get out there and be able to justify a purchase of a new console these days. But that also brings up the fact that everything in Call of Duty is monetized down to audio packs, monetizations of their storefront, just everything in between. There's always something, a battle pass event. I can just keep going and naming these things over and over. It just feels like every aspect of Call of Duty nowadays is behind some kind of paywall. And yes, those things are optional, but they just shove them in your face as often as possible. That was the only thing that made the beta bearable for me, is that if I logged in every time and they were shoving their pre-order, ad in front of my face every single chance they got, I probably wouldn't have played the game as much as I did. The first couple of days of the beta were so unbearable to play that I legit was only playing like maybe a match or two and then completely getting off the game. With the open playlist, I actually found myself sitting down and playing for a couple of hours before I start recording a video. I would usually get on, play a couple matches with the SBMM, decide to get off, and then realize I only had like 20 minutes worth of footage. But then with SBMM being reduced, it wasn't removed, it was reduced, I was able to play the game with somewhat, enjoyment. I was able to enjoy myself playing the game, and, you get to play the game to the point where people are calling me a hacker and stuff just because I'm running around playing the game how I like to play it. I'm not trying to sweat my ass off when I'm playing the game. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, you know, using that big old noggin of mine to figure out where people are spawning, where people might be, and usually you end up figuring out the flow when there's an organic matchmaking system in the game, and you can kind of tell what the team is going to do usually, and it's not always the case. Sometimes you get smashed, sometimes you don't, and sometimes it's just kind of an in-between, pretty close match. Back on the topic though, is the fact that the other issue with the game is that skill-based matchmaking system in the first place. They have the option here to actually switch their entire matchmaking system into that open playlist, but it shouldn't just be one playlist. It should be the entire matchmaking system be put into that open mode to where it is a reduced skill factor when going after other players for your match. It should be based on ping and ping alone, so you have the best connection to people. That was like the main comment that everyone was making whenever they made the reduced skill-based matchmaking open playlist, because you found a game instantly. Your ping was less than 25 most of the time. It was actually so refreshing to be able to join a game within just a couple of seconds and you're instantly in the game. I think that's what made the older Call of Duties as addictive as they were, is that the moment you hit your playlist, whether it was Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirm, Domination, or Search and Destroy, whatever you like to play, it was the fact that whenever you hit that match or find match button, you instantly found a game. Even with Black Ops 2 in the year of 2025, playing it on PC, I find matches instantaneously. You can hit find game, hit team deathmatch, and then be put into a game within 5 seconds. There's no searching, there's no sitting in the lobby so you can watch your character run down a stupid hallway so you can stare at your skins or whatever it is. You're instantly put into a game, and that's what I think makes Call of Duty mostly addicting. The gameplay is enjoyable, going for kill streaks is enjoyable, but it's just the fact that you can get into a game as fast as possible is what made those older Call of Duties as fun as they were. And the other issues that I have with Black Ops 7, like, I guess this video is kind of just like a final review of the Black Ops 7 beta since it's now closing today. It's just the fact that the game just had so much, flip-flopping of opinions as you were going along. For me, I was always just kind of like on the negative side because the entire game is just not what it used to be. I've already explained my stance in this video pretty much, but it's like they aren't going to go back to that older style. Ever since MW 2019, they've been pumping out the same game pretty much every single year, and it's like, well, all the older Call of Duties were pretty much the same game every year, but they've also, the main issue with for me is that they've gone with this back-to-back release system. I mean, Treyarch even said that they want to make their games back-to-back, when I don't understand how they can sit there and want to do that when they saw the complete mess that was MW2 to MW3, and then they decided that they want to do the same thing. Like, what the hell were you thinking? I just can't wrap my head around the idea. I feel like that's a complete lie. I feel like they've been lying to us the entire time, and that's kind of like the last part of it for me. The last issue that I have with Black Ops 7 is the fact that these developers, and Activision especially, has just been lying to us for the past 5 to 6 years. They've been telling us that they can't remove certain things, skill-based matchmaking, and they can't, fix certain things, erroneous blood splatters, and the packet burst, and all the other stuff that just, I totally do. It just keeps going. There's just more and more along the list as you go. There's just more dumb stuff. Like, is Black Ops 7 potentially a good game? Yeah, it probably is. There's probably a lot of talented people that made the game, but unfortunately, the foundation for your game is made of pure, steaming hot pile of dog shit. You've had to deal with the same load of garbage every single year for the past, 5 to 6 years, and you just expect everyone to line back up for the same pile of slop that you've been giving out every single year? It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if it's the modern setting. It doesn't matter if it's the Black Ops setting. It doesn't matter if it's the future setting of Black Ops 7. It's the same garbage that you've received every single time, and people are fed up with it. That is why Battlefield is winning this year, by the way. That is why, because you're now getting a different feeling FPS finally, in the fact that they have a Battle Royale coming with it. They have an amazing Portal mode coming with it. That's basically Forge mode from Halo. I think Battlefield has quite a lot to offer this year, and yes, they have, you know, maybe not as much going on content-wise as the Black Ops series is, but they really pull out all that crap of extra content for their game just so they can try to get you to play it as long as possible, and people are just ready to move on from this series. Battlefield's coming in, slotting perfectly into this series to just, you know, take away all the players and show people what it is. Like, it's a casual version of the Battlefield series. It's a new version of the Battlefield series, and I think this is going to be kind of a blow-up year for Battlefield, just like MW 2019 was for Call of Duty. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I hope to see you guys out there. That's pretty much all I got for today, guys. You know, what do you think is going on with this whole situation with Battlefield and Black Ops 7? Do you think that all these issues that I highlighted today are something that you share as well? And just let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell notification to see my new videos. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye.